Hello, it's me again. Yesterday I got cut off. Someone called me or something when I was trying to do my little video telling y'all about the phone call appointment that I had with Dr. Goldstein from the SUDP program. Anyway, I think I was at the point where I was telling you, I was talking about how he was going through all, he went through first, asked, if me and Brian had any sort of diseases or disorders, if my siblings had any, if my parents had any, and then, anyway, it was just interesting because it happened to be that both my parents had came over to my house and were there just kind of by randomness, and my in-laws actually are living with us right now. They moved out probably about a month ago, maybe, to help take care of us, and they're also saving their mortgage, rent, whatever, for about a year so that they can go on a mission trip. They want to go on a mission. Anyway, that's kind of a side, whatever note. But so they were all there, so I was able to go in and ask them questions, about all of the different parts of the family tree. So I found out that I guess my husband's dad's cousin died of SIDS. And I also have a first cousin who, he and his wife had a baby that died of SIDS either a couple years, I believe, before Tess died. And sorry if I'm getting the dates wrong, I can't remember. I need to ask someone to look that up. But anyway, so it definitely has been seen on both sides of my family before. Anyway, he asked me, we really don't have a lot of things. I'm trying to think all the things that he asked me. He asked if there were anybody on either side of the family, like my parents, their siblings, and their siblings' children, and if they had any, any heart disease, any of them have any sort of seizures and disorders, which we don't. He asked if anybody on either sides of the family had a bunch of miscarriages, and I told him I think that Brian has a sister that's had a bunch of miscarriages. She hasn't been able to get pregnant. On my side of the family, I don't think so. If y'all do, if you're watching this, let me know. What else did he ask? He asked if my babies, I'm going back, I guess I'm all over the place because that's just how I am, but going back, I'm trying to think, before we went down the family tree, he asked lots of questions about the babies. He asked if they ever looked like they held their breath a lot. They didn't. And I think I already mentioned that Tess had reflux, so she did this weird thing, and Avery did it too, where they would and I was told that since all of my babies were born by C-section, and I had 5 C-sections, that my babies weren't pushed through the birth canal, and so a lot of times C-section babies will have a lot of fluid still that's not pushed through pushed out naturally, I guess, when the baby goes down the birth canal. And so Avery would do this thing, and we later on found out it was reflux, and Tess would do it too, where they were kind of like, and almost like they would stop breathing. But it was almost like something was coming back up. So we talked about that a little bit. We talked about how Jonesy had that weird hiccup, and I didn't really elaborate about that. But when he was in the NICU, the first week or so, his chest would go in and out, and it was almost like when he would breathe. You know how when you cry when you were little, or I don't know if I've ever seen an adult do this. I don't think I do it anymore, and I cry hard sometimes. But when I was little, and I would cry hard, and I've seen my kids do it too. And then when you stop, you're kind of like, try to. I don't know why that happens, but that's how he breathed. That's how he would breathe the first week or so. And they ran all kinds of tests on him. Consulted all the pediatricians up there, and the this and the that, and they could never figure out what it was, and they just kind of. He just kind of grew out of it, and so he didn't do that. But he did have that weird breathing thing. Let me think. What else she asked me? I have Down syndrome, or he asked me. I have Down syndrome on one of my sides of the family. There are one of sides of my family. My dad's side of the family has heart disease. I think he said that 3 of his 3 of his siblings have already had like bypass surgeries, and I don't know if, anyway, that was one of the things that, but he mainly wanted to know, as a cluster, is there anything in either side of the family, like I said, my parents' kids, their siblings, and their siblings' kids, and then he went up to the grandparents as well, and that's how far he stopped. But so there really wasn't anything. Trying to think what else. He just said that basically, he kept asking me that, not asking me, but he asked me a couple times, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would want, that it's on your mind, or if there's anything that you think about. He definitely wants me to call him back and tell him about it, anything that I think of. But he said that, he goes, basically there's a lot of smart people that are going to be working on this, but he has a practice, and I believe he works at the Boston Children's Hospital. He's also a professor at Harvard School of Medicine, as is Dr. Kinney. But he's like, some of these people on our program are just researchers, and some are doctors, have practices. But he's like, basically, a bunch of smart people are going to dig into, and if anything, if there's, we will find out what science right now in 2013 will allow us to find out. If there's anything that is to be found out, they can give you some more answers, and we will find it out. And I don't know, when he said that, it kind of gave me chills, because I don't know, I think it's exciting. It's important to me. And I told him, and sorry if I'm repeating myself. I don't remember if I mentioned this yesterday, but I told him, I said, I'm not naive enough to think that y'all are going to tell me, next week or whenever, next month, what happened to my children. I don't think that you're going to tell me what SIDS is and, what I could have done to prevent it, but I do hope that maybe, my little, our little existence over here in northeastern Wyoming can maybe help somebody else someday. I mean, I pray that there comes a day where, parents don't have to wake up to this nightmare. It's ridiculous. It happens way too much, and there's not enough research. There's not enough awareness about it. It's just, it makes me sick. It's disgusting. But anyway, so he said that if he had anything else to ask me, he'd be in contact with me. If I had anything else, I wanted to ask him, definitely contact him. He said it would probably take him a month or so to get back with me, and that if they wanted to I think maybe want to do some more genetic testing on us, which would mean that we would all need to have our blood drawn and stuff, that, all that's paid for, and that's, it's all non-profit. People have given, or raise money and donations, and so, I don't know, it made me feel good. It was very overwhelming to go through all of that, but it made me feel good. It made me feel like, I don't know, it gives me a purpose right now, I guess. I don't know, not that I'm doing anything, but I just am so thankful that I had the, I guess the prompting to call her the day that I did call her, and I just Googled her name and called and got a hold of a receptionist or somebody that, connected me to Dr. Kinney. And, I don't know, I never thought she'd call me back, but I did ask him. I asked him how many times he has, I said, how often do you see families that have multiple children die of SIDS? And he said, well, he wouldn't tell me how many times he's seen it, but he said, well, we have a few families in our program right now. So that tells you that it does happen. And anyway, if you have any other questions, because I'm sure I'm forgetting a ton of stuff, just ask them, and I will answer any questions you might have. I know that a lot of you SIDS moms are interested in my conversation with him and stuff, but anyway, I am going home to make some chicken salad sandwiches so that Scarlett can take them to her softball end of the season picnic with her daddy. I'm not going because I have walking pneumonia. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.